like, you think I haven't heard this one before? Yeah, he's doing Pawn Stars. Best I can do is Ghislaine Maxwell's in prison and a shut the fuck up. Okay? That's the best you're going to get, big dog. Oh, here's the Glenn Beck video. We have to watch this. This is so funny.
Go to
Travis from South Dakota calls into Glenn Beck, and you have to see like how Glenn Beck reacts to this, because it is so instructive on how these guys operate.
Travis in South Dakota. Hello, Travis.
Hi, Glenn. Hi, Jason. I tell you what, guys, I feel really betrayed, and I feel really, really angry. We have a president who tells us to move on from Epstein because it doesn't matter. Are you guys still talking about this? Seriously? And yet he still talks about the 2020 election fraud. He talks about.
Oh my God. I love that he goes, you don't shut the fuck up about 2020, but you want us to shut the fuck up about Jeffrey Epstein? That's crazy. That's way more
the
important.
Hunter Biden laptop. He talks about all this stuff from 5-6 years ago, and he tells us to move on from the Epstein trial or the Epstein case. People like me will not stop talking about this. I feel so betrayed and so angry. This is not what I voted for. If we do not stand up for the children of this country, we have nothing. We have absolutely nothing. And I tell you what, I've also lost a lot of respect for a lot of people that are prominent figures in this country, because they are saying, you know what, this doesn't matter. Like,
I'm sorry, dude. I told you this shit ain't going away. I fucking told you. I told you this is a break-off point for many. This is a person who's calling the Glenn Beck show. Think about how in the tank you are, that you are literally a fan of Glenn Beck in the year 2025. Okay? He's not on Fox News anymore. He's on a network that is barely held together by donors, big donors, at the Blaze Network. And this guy from South Dakota is fucking calling in to his favorite content creator, Glenn Beck, on the verge of tears. He's on the verge of tears. He's like, dude, what the fuck? My entire worldview is falling apart, dude. This is straight up. Like, this dude is straight up at the tip of the spear. This is the Fedayeen of the Trump base. This is literally the most diehard Trump supporter you can arrive at. Like, he's not watching just regular Greg Gutfeld, you know? He's not just like sitting around watching Fox News. He's not even sitting around watching Tucker Carlson. He's watching Glenn Beck, the perhaps 15th most influential, or not even 25th most influential conservative on the independent media sphere.
Harry Lake came out on Saturday. She's like, you know what? What really matters is election fraud and post-election fraud. It's like, you know what? The children of this country really, really matter. How can we just sweep them under the rug and not care? Move on, America. Move on.
Travis, thank you for calling. Let me ask you, is there anything that could be said that would make you go, okay, that's as good as it's going to get for here?
I want transparency, and
Bro, that question is so crazy, because he's just like, what will it take for you to shut the fuck up? That's literally what Glenn is saying here. He's like, what will it take for you to move on, dude? Come on. Just give me the talking point. Give me the talking point so I can figure out what you can hear, so we can move on from this and never talk about it again.
I want justice. All them children, all those families, everything they went through, I don't want to know their names. I pray that God would be with them and give them some sort of peace if they could ever get it. I want transparency and I want justice.
Is there anything that anyone could produce to show you and have you go, okay, Epstein is dead.
Like, what? Please, bro. Travis, please, what will it take for you to shut the fuck up, dog?
Adwell is in prison, and that's the only justice you're going to be able to get.
I want evidence. Quit telling us that, he killed.
He's like, you think I haven't heard this one before? Yeah, he's doing Pawn Stars. Best I can do is Ghislaine Maxwell's in prison and a shut the fuck up. Okay? That's the best you're going to get, big dog.
Himself, and we saw everything. We have the information, by the way. It doesn't exist. Show us the information. Make me believe. Help me believe that he killed himself. Help me believe that maybe you don't have any evidence. against people, then show us that stuff. I do not trust the government at all, and yet they expect me to take their word for it. I'm sorry, you lost your credibility a long time ago, government. You need to start gaining the trust of these American people back. And I really hope and pray that they can at least provide some sort of evidence.
How do you prove the negative, Travis? See, that's where I'm at. I think I'm right where you are. I'm beyond. I don't have a horse in this race. What I have is common sense. And what I have is maybe a bunch of people hyping this up for a very long time, but then I need somebody to say, hey, these people were hyping this for this reason, and here, let me show you how that was done. I want to believe. I want to believe in the good. So help me, but I don't know how you prove a negative. How do you prove there is?
I think if I am guys like this, okay, I am deeply worried about where that anger and resentment will inevitably lead up to, because all of these guys got an arsenal of weapons, okay? Maybe they're on not the best mindset either, okay? Big dog, you can't come across like you are also refusing or, playing cover for the administration. I'm just saying, dude. Not the best, most mentally sound individuals out here in the Glenn Beck audience, okay? I mean, Glenn Beck himself was like insane, literally. That's the reason why they had to fire him from Fox News, because he was like losing his goddamn mind. And also the crippling addiction, I think, to painkillers, if I'm not mistaken. Even worse, if you're the guy who they tricked into trusting they would be hell-bent on vengeance way more than they would be against those dumb socialists. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like you're pissing off a lot of dudes that wear tinfoil hats with regular frequency, unironically, and have an arsenal of weapons. I mean, heck, two of the people that tried to kill the president were either former Trump voters or registered Republicans. You don't want those motherfuckers pissed off at you, dude.
There's no evidence.
I absolutely agree. If all these people like me are all upset about this Epstein client list and it's all been for naught all these years, then help me believe that, you know what, you've been wrong this entire time, and actually there's some really good things out there. And if it's the opposite, show us that evidence too. We're all right now.
Yeah, Glenn, 4 months ago.
All right.
Who hid the Epstein list for years? We need full transparency.
So here's what Pam Bondi said.
It's pretty sick what that means.
At a certain point, these guys in the independent media content sphere have to realize that, like, what these guys are doing under the auspices of independent media is actually no different than what Fox News does, and that it's no different than what MSNBC does for the Democratic Party. This is a breakoff point for a lot of people, and they've never actually had to come to terms with this reality, because the administration is very good at drip feeding treats to the fucking masses like this, okay? They're very good at like offering something here and there that is not actually disruptive to the pre-existing hierarchies of capital. You kind of start realizing all of a sudden, it's like, wait a minute, there are things that I want and these guys won't give it to me. And all of these supposedly independent voices online are actually defending the administration when the administration itself is actually not, is doing something that I don't want it to do. It's because they are fucking grifters, and they have always defended the establishment position, the Republican establishment position. That's it. That was always the case. And there are those who are not like in the MAGA loyalist payroll. That's why Andrew Schultz and them are like jumping ship, right? They were just hanger-ons and basically were simply like pushing this narrative because it was like a rocket ship, just like those people who were like pro Andrew Tate when Andrew Tate was like popping off, right? They were just hitching their wagon to an existing popular movement that they saw was blowing up. However, there are the actual establishment loyalists, like the people who are loyal to the Republican Party through and through, the establishment of the Republican Party. People like Glenn Beck, people like Charlie Kirk. They know where their bread is buttered. They will always defend the admin. Charlie Kirk hitched his wagon to Donald Trump after being an anti-Trump Republican in the primaries, and he never looked back. And he was rewarded endlessly for it. A lot of people don't know this. Charlie Kirk, back in the day, used to go on Fox News and shit on Donald Trump. Very quickly swapped when he saw the writing on the wall and became a pro-Trump guy, and he's never shied away from that. Ben Shapiro was anti-Trump because he was like, these guys were the pro-Republican Party soldiers. Once they realized quickly that Trump was the Republican Party and would be the future of the Republican Party, they became pro-Trump because they're just Republican Party mercenaries. They're Republican Party hitters. That's it.
All we have to go on is the word and trust of the United States government, and they don't tell us anything. So this is what we found in the documents we're going to give you are going to be, mostly redacted, but the information's there. We just can't show it to you. You got to help us out a little bit. There's a lot of good in this country, but you got to help us out a little bit.
Travis, I don't think anyone could have said it better than that. Thank you.